Ghana Export Promotion Authority was established in 1969 under the Constitution, and certainly Ghana has been talking about exports and the fact that this government has also been talking about raking in revenue. So we need to talk about how these exports can be done in a very sanitized and very good way to make sure our monies come to us. Joining me in studio to discuss this is Mr. Albert Kasim Diwura. He is the Deputy Chief Executive of the Ghana Export Promotion Authority, and also Mrs. Agnes Ajay Sam. She's the Director for Marketing and Promotions at GEPA. Good morning, gentlemen and lady.
Good morning.
So let's start off with what GEPA in itself is and what it seeks to, achieve in its establishment.
Thank you very much. We bring you greetings from Ghana Export Promotion Authority, especially the CEO, Madam Efua Asabia Asare, and all staff of the Export Promotion Authority. GEPA, like you said, formerly known as Ghana Export Promotion Council, became an authority in 1969. And like you rightly mentioned, export, like we all know, is about taking goods and services from the native country to the foreign country to, as it were, get the necessary or the needed foreign exchange to come and cushion our city. And so our prime objectives is the mandated government TPO, Trade Promotion Organization, to ensure that our products, both services, are actually followed the due process to be sent outside the country for sale. So basically, we are interested in taking goods and services outside the country.
Very well. But I'm sure the ordinary person out there is also wondering, how well have you been able to achieve these objectives that GEPA was put in there for over the years?
The achievements are there for everybody to see. It's on record. And then like we have what we call the Exporters Forum that is coming up soon. We are also going to look at the what is it called, the awards, those who have done well. And so the records are there to show. We also have the 2017 reports, how we've done over the period. And so if you look at how far we have come, we have a data section that has the records to show. And so year on, I mean, export promotion have done so well. And it's unfortunate we've not been in the limelight. We don't tell our own story. And most often than not, you leave it for the exporters because it's like they are the direct beneficiary of the proceeds. And so this time around, we want to tell our own story, let the people know what exactly we've done so far, and the success story will be for Ghana as a whole. Very
well. So in doing this, you're organizing a forum. That's the 78th National Exporters Forum. We want to find out what is going to go into that program. What should we expect when we come?
Thank you very much for the opportunity to be here this morning. The National Exporters Forum is one of the key activities of the Ghana Export Promotion Authority. And it was instituted as far back as 1987. And the objective is to create a platform for all those who are involved in export development and promotion to meet together and discuss pertinent issues of the day. And so by so doing, it becomes a good place where we know how we are performing, what we need to do, what the exporters expect of us, and then to help us to draw programs to meet their competitiveness.
So when is it happening, and who's expected to be there? Who's coming?
Right. The next one is coming on just tomorrow. That is 17th of October 2018 at the Ghana Shippers House. And we are expecting the Honorable Minister for Trade and Industry to be there because it is his program. We are under the Ministry of Trade and Industry. He's coming. We've also invited the Minister for Information. We hope he'll find time to come. And of course, our key and primary clients, the exporters, it is their day. Like when we are in school and then we are going to vacate, today is our day. So it's actually the day for the exporters. It's an opportunity for them to tell it as it is, so to speak, to tell the facilitating institutions what they need, what has been bothering them, and what they expect us to do for them. So they will tell us, and we would also use it as an opportunity to let them know about what we are also doing for them. So it's a big day. All the exporters are expected to come. And we also have other facilitating institutions. If you look at our mandates, we are to develop and promote. Right. And so in the chain, we have so many institutions, Ministry of Agri, the Port Services, we have Ghana Standards Authority, Food and Drugs Board. They are all part of the chain of helping the exporters. So we are expecting all these people to be present. And then there are also some development partners, because the programs they are doing with and for us are for the exporters. Right. So they're also expected to be there so that together we can deliberate on how well GEP is doing and the programs we have for the exporters to ensure that they are the programs they need to make them very competitive on the export markets.
Very well. When we talk about business in general, we tend to look more at now we're trying to promote the underprivileged people, talking about women and the youth. How well is GIPA positioned to help champion the cause of the youth and women when it comes to export?
Okay, maybe. Thank you very much. And we see how important the youth and women are in every development activity. Right. And we have also not left this segment out. I'd like to focus more on the women since I'm a woman also. Okay, as far back as the early 2000s, Ghana Export Promotion Authority has been working with a lot of institutions, particularly the International Trade Center. Yes, it's under the UN. Yes, we have been working with them to identify programs to support women. Okay. And so the first one we did was called Access for Women in International Trade. Okay. And this was a special program to look at the special needs of women in business. Yes, so under this program, we trained the women, we gave them business counseling services, where we also found market for them, and we also helped to make them very visible on the export market. And then after the project ended, we didn't sit back and say that, well, ITC funding has ended, so we're going to leave out the women like that. No, we mainstreamed these women into our regular export programs. Right. And I'm happy to know that many of them are exporting, many of them have been receiving awards, both internationally and locally. And also to support women, what we did under one of the flagship programs that Albert mentioned early on is a National Awards for Export Achievements. Okay. And so we have introduced a special segment for women. Okay. That's the Woman Exporter of the Year, which wasn't there before. Okay. And this is one activity that is also spurring women on to also excel and do much better than we're doing. Now, when it comes to the youth, it is still very much in it, what should I say, we are still working on it, but I'm happy to say that many of the new people we are bringing up are also very young entrepreneurs, under 40 years, both men and women. And then we are coming out with new programs, yes, to actually ensure that they also become competitive on the export market.
Mr. Kasim, you join in, but also when you talk, I want to find out what the extent of the forum, the impact it's had on the exporters has been, because this certainly is your 78th, and so there must have been some results you've seen and what you plan to make it better.
Let me also just add on the youth in export. Like we've also made it as a mandate. Like every year we have students chaining out. Okay. This year's national service personnel who are currently with us, when we're giving them what we call institutional orientation, we told them that, I mean, you go out there, unemployment, everybody is crying. Right. But in the private sector, for instance, GIPA is private-public, establishment, engagement. And so for us, the private sector, they are our stakeholders. It is for them we exist. And so we encourage the youth that after school, you have to identify the opportunities around your area. At the moment, we are talking about one district, one exportable product. And every person would have been coming from one district or the other. And so you identify the potentials at your area, and then you try to partner with people who are already in the industry. When you are going to learn, you need to find out from those who are already there and the success stories they have. And so we've encouraged the youth that they should find their own way of becoming entrepreneurs, and not only locally but also internationally. And so not only the women, like my director of marketing said, we are more passionate about the graduate unemployment, and we are encouraging them. It's not always about a white collar job. You can make it big if you can also identify, and especially the government is talking about one district, one factory, one agri product, and that of exportable in nature. So you identify, and then you are in business. So back to your question about the exporters. For us, it is for them that we exist. And so their success story, it is for us to be also to tell our own story. And so we are very passionate about the challenges that they face. The Trade Ministry is also churning out, they are the policy makers. And so ours is just to implement the policies. And so we monitor them closely. Our doors are opened. And it will surprise you to know that, yes, normally we begin with them. But as they grow, we even tend to learn from them. They go into the practicalities of it. They, in the world out in the export world, they do all the necessary mistakes. And so we come back to them. And so you'll be surprised that we have what we call the export school. And some of them are even facilitators. Some of them, we call them to come and give a lecture and all that. So the exporters are very dear to us.
Very well. Finally, just remind us of when the program is taking place and at what time we should be there.
Thank you. Perhaps let me also take the opportunity to just add one or two more benefits to it. I know. In fact, it is through the deliberations at the Exporters Forum that certain key programs like even the Exim Bank as we have now has come about. Yes. At first, there was no dedicated funding for exporters. It was through this forum that exporters cried for a dedicated funding to be brought. And so first of all, we had the EDIF, that's the Export Development and Agri Investment Fund. And then after that, they said, no, we wanted a bank to help us to finance our businesses. And so it was changed to the Exim Bank. And so this is one of the key achievements of the Exporters Forum. This year, a program comes off tomorrow. That's Wednesday, 17th October 2018 at the Ghana Shippers House, which is at Ridge. And I think it's in the vicinity of the UBA Bank and then the British Council.
So tomorrow we will be congregating at the Ghana Shippers House to learn more about exports in Ghana and what we can do to make it better. And certainly, like they said, there's a job out there for the unemployed youth. So don't sit aloof and say you're waiting on government. Go there and find yourself a job. I've been speaking to Mr. Albert Kasim Dewura. He is the Deputy Chief Executive for GIPA, and also Mrs. Agnes Ejaysam. She is the Director for Marketing and Promotions at the Ghana Export Promotion Authority. Let me say happy birthday to Mr. Alfred Obing, aka Soldier of AMA. This is coming from Johnny Hughes here at TV3. We'll take a break. We'll be back more with something here on New Day. Stay with us.